For months, I lived in a cycle of endless begging. Begging my wife for affection, for respect, for just a little of her time. Every day felt like walking on eggshells, waiting for her approval, craving her attention, but always falling short. If I worked late, I didn't care about her. If I came home early, I wasn't ambitious enough. I cooked for her, brought her small gifts, took her out. She brushed it all aside like it meant nothing. Eventually, I didn't recognize myself anymore. I wasn't the confident man I used to be. I was drained, exhausted, desperate. Every argument ended with me apologizing, even when I knew I wasn't wrong, just to keep the peace. I told myself this was love, that sacrificing myself for her happiness was what commitment meant. But I had become her shadow, not a husband, just a man orbiting her moods, living to please her. This morning, something inside me snapped. She asked me to iron her clothes before work. Normally, I'd jump to it, hoping for a smile, maybe even a thank you. But this time I said nothing. I sat down, drank my tea, scrolled through my phone. She noticed immediately. "Did you hear me?" she asked sharply. I nodded, but I didn't move. Her eyes widened. She wasn't used to this version of me, the man who didn't jump to obey. She stormed off to the bathroom, slamming the door. I just sipped my tea in silence. Later, she asked me to run an errand for her mother. Usually, I would have done it instantly just to avoid conflict. But I replied calmly, "I'm busy today. You can handle it." The look on her face was priceless: confusion, anger, and something else: fear. For the first time, she realized I wasn't her servant. Throughout the day, she kept testing me. Bring me water. Fix my charger. Call the plumber. Each time, I shook my head or simply said, "Not now." I wasn't rude. I wasn't loud. I was just firm. And that silence, that quiet refusal, it hit harder than any argument I'd ever made. By evening, the energy in the house had shifted. She paced the room, visibly uncomfortable, stealing glances at me like she was trying to figure out what had changed. Finally, she asked, "What's wrong with you today?" For once, I didn't explain myself. I didn't beg. I didn't sugarcoat. I looked her in the eye and said, "I'm tired of being the only one trying in this marriage." Her mouth opened, ready to argue. But no words came. She wasn't expecting me to stand my ground. She was used to me chasing her, for attention, forgiveness, love. But today, I gave her nothing. No explanations. No apologies. No desperate attempt to ease her discomfort. The silence between us became a mirror she couldn't look into. She tried to distract herself, turned on the TV, scrolled her phone, acted like she didn't care. But her body language betrayed her. She wasn't used to being ignored. And she definitely wasn't used to me putting myself first. When dinner time came, she asked if I was going to cook. "I already ate outside," I replied. Her face dropped. For years, I had made sure she had a hot meal every evening. But tonight, I didn't lift a finger. She cooked something for herself, slamming pots and pans around, pretending to be fine, but the panic in her movements gave her away. That night, as we got into bed, she finally softened. "You've been distant today. Are you upset with me?" I turned to her and said calmly, "I'm not upset. I'm just done begging. I'm done living like I'm the only one who cares." She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. She tried to defend herself, said I was overreacting, said she never asked me to beg. But I reminded her of every time she dismissed my efforts, every time she made me feel small, every time she took and never gave. She had no defense. For once, she didn't have the upper hand. And I didn't need to yell, cry, or plead. I simply stated the truth and let the silence do the rest. In that silence, she finally realized she might lose me. As she turned away, pretending to sleep, I lay there feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Free. I wasn't weighed down by the need to earn her love anymore. I had taken back a piece of myself, and it felt powerful. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. Maybe she'd change. Maybe she wouldn't. But one thing was certain. I would never go back to begging. The next morning, I left early. Didn't say much. Didn't answer her calls during the day. That evening, when I returned home, I handed her an envelope. Inside, a letter. My decision to separate. Her hands trembled as she read it. Her eyes filled with fear. She tried to protest, tried to talk, tried to beg. But this time, I was the silent one. The man who once begged for her love was gone. I packed my things slowly, while she stood there, helpless. "You'll regret this," she whispered. I smiled and said,
"No."
"I've already regretted staying too long." Then I walked out, and for the first time in years, I felt light.
Whole. Free.